Ringo Starr was never the loudest Beatle, but he was the one whose rhythm kept the world moving. Born Richard Starkey in Liverpool in 1940, he rose from poverty and illness to become one of the most beloved figures in music history. His life story is a study in resilience, talent, and the quiet power of joy. Yet beneath the smiles and the drumming, Ringo carried deep emotional wounds, especially from one relationship that broke his heart more than any other. He once admitted he hated George Harrison more than anyone, a confession that stunned fans and reshaped the story of the Beatles. Their bond began as brotherhood, but ended in betrayal, jealousy, and pain. This is the story of a man who learned that even in the brightest spotlight, human emotions can burn the deepest. A childhood of pain and rhythm, Ringo Starr was born Richard Starkey on July 7, 1940, in the working-class district of Dingle, Liverpool. His early life was marked by hardship and illness. He spent long periods in hospitals suffering from peritonitis and tuberculosis, which kept him away from school and delayed his education. Yet those difficult years gave him something else, a deep appreciation for life and a love for rhythm. During his hospital stays, he would drum on bedpans and tables, unknowingly laying the foundation for his future. His family struggled financially, but Ringo's spirit remained unbroken. As a young man, he worked various jobs, including as a factory worker and apprentice joiner, but his passion for music could not be suppressed. Inspired by skiffle and early rock and roll, he began playing drums with local bands, eventually joining Rory Storm and the Hurricanes, where his talent and charisma began to shine. Joining the Beatles, destiny arrives. In 1962, fate changed Ringo's life forever. When the Beatles' original drummer Pete Best was dismissed, Ringo was invited to join John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and George Harrison. His arrival completed the lineup that would transform music history. Ringo's steady beat and inventive fills became the backbone of the Beatles' sound, shaping songs like Ticket to Ride, Rain, and A Day in the Life. Although he often remained in the background, his musical contributions were vital and uniquely influential. His warm personality made him a fan favorite, and his humor added a human touch to the band's image. Ringo also stepped into the spotlight as a singer on several tracks, including With a Little Help from My Friends, Yellow Submarine, and Octopus's Garden. These songs reflected his approachable, childlike wonder and helped define his role as the heart of the band. The solo career, a star beyond the Beatles. When the Beatles disbanded in 1970, Ringo refused to fade into the background. Instead, he launched a solo career that proved he was more than just the band's drummer. His debut albums, Sentimental Journey and Beaucoup of Blues, showed his range and love for different musical styles. His 1973 album Ringo became a major success, producing hits like Photograph and You're 16. The album's success confirmed his place in music history beyond the Beatles. Ringo also pursued acting, appearing in films such as Caveman, That'll Be the Day, and The Magic Christian. His comedic timing and genuine charm made him a natural on screen. Later, he became a beloved voice actor and narrator, most notably on Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, introducing him to a new generation of fans. A life of love and loss. Ringo's personal life mirrored his career. Dramatic, emotional, and full of transformation. His first marriage was to Maureen Cox, a hairdresser and devoted Beatles fan. They met at the Cavern Club and married in 1965, during the height of Beatlemania. Maureen remained a steady presence in his life, raising their 3 children, Zach, Jason, and Lee, while he toured the world. But the pressures of fame and the band's breakup strained their relationship. Ringo struggled with alcohol and chaotic behavior, and the marriage eventually ended in 1975. Maureen later died in 1994 from leukemia, a loss that deeply affected Ringo. He later said she had been one of the most genuine people he ever knew. Years later, Ringo found love again with actress Barbara Bach, whom he met on the set of Caveman. Their marriage in 1981 brought him peace and stability, and together they overcame addiction, becoming an enduring example of love and recovery. The rise and fall of the Beatles' brotherhood. The Beatles are often remembered as the ultimate brotherhood, but their unity was fragile beneath the surface. Ringo joined last, and he sometimes felt like an outsider. George Harrison, who had been with John and Paul from the beginning, often treated Ringo with subtle superiority. The tension grew as the band's fame increased, and as George's own songwriting ambitions grew. Ringo, meanwhile, struggled to find his place in a band that frequently minimized his musical contributions. The stress became unbearable during the recording of Let It Be, where silent glances and arguments became common. Ringo even walked out of the studio at one point. The band's breakup in 1970 deepened the fractures, and Ringo's feelings toward George grew darker as personal betrayals came to light. The betrayal that broke his heart. The turning point came in the early 1970s when Ringo discovered that George had briefly had a romantic involvement with Maureen. Ringo was devastated, not just because of the affair, but because of the betrayal. George was married to Pattie Boyd at the time, and the incident shattered the trust Ringo had placed in his friend. Ringo later said he hated him for what he did, a confession that surprised many fans. The wound didn't heal quickly. Ringo avoided George for months, and when they did speak, their conversations were tense and shallow. He felt invisible in the band, and the betrayal confirmed that he wasn't fully accepted. George's response, "All things must pass," only deepened the pain. Ringo felt dismissed and hurt, and his resentment lingered for years. Forgiveness and the lasting bond over time. Ringo's spiritual nature and compassion began to soften the anger. When George fell ill with cancer in the late 1990s, Ringo chose to visit him. He set aside the bitterness and told George he loved him. The moment was deeply emotional, and it showed the true strength of Ringo's character. He realized that life was too short to hold on to pain. When George died in 2001, Ringo was among the first to speak publicly about him. Through tears, he said, "George was my brother. I might have hated him once, but I never stopped loving him." That confession revealed the complexity of their bond, how love and resentment can coexist. In the end, their relationship became a testament to the power of forgiveness and the enduring ties of shared history. Outro. The beat that never stopped Ringo Starr's life was a journey from poverty and illness to global fame and personal redemption. His music changed the world, but his humanity is what made him truly unforgettable. He overcame addiction, loss, and betrayal, and emerged as a man defined by love, forgiveness, and a relentless belief in the power of joy. His drumming continues to inspire generations of musicians, and his legacy as a Beatle remains unmatched. Yet it is his honest confession of anger, hurt, and ultimately forgiveness toward George Harrison that reveals the real man behind the legend. Ringo's story proves that even the greatest heroes carry wounds, and that the most profound strength comes from the courage to heal. In the end, his life was not just a rhythm, it was a heartbeat.